guys, welcome back to another one of our video series. Just a reminder, this is a collaboration between UNISA's College of Economic Management and Sciences and Express Employment Professionals. And today we are talking about positive outlook. I have a special guest today. His name is Itai, a student from UNISA. Itai, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, like Tinswala said, I am a student at UNISA. My full name is Itai George Zaranika, and I'm studying financial management in the School of Economics. Right, and I do have bunch of questions, a bunch of questions that have been actually raging in between chats with myself and my friends or family. It's how to maintain a positive outlook, and it's something I've had issues with, if not even just in the past, like not in just in the distant past, but like just yesterday I had a issue where I had my spirits down in a way, and being optimistic, I found it very hard. It's a very it sounds easy for someone to tell you to have a positive outlook, but it's not as easy when you're actually in a situation. So that leads me back to you, that leads me here to you, where I have these questions that I need to find out how you could help me, especially in the workplace. If I can't handle it just in general life, imagine what it's going to be like in the working environment. So
Exactly.
Whenever you're ready, I will get into it.
I believe you have the questions for me. So let's start with the first one. What is your first question?
I do. Now, why is it important to have a positive outlook?
Nice. So I want to start by saying that, displaying optimism in general is all about, how you are just positive about the future, and you just have this can-do attitude whenever you see situations. So this attribute in itself is important because whenever you have challenges, you don't see them as, oh my God, I failed. Instead, you see them as opportunities. And workplaces are not short of challenges. So trust me, you're going to need this attribute a lot because you have to identify opportunities whenever there is challenges. And you just said to me that, especially for the workplace, for the job search journey, you would like to know about this topic. What I've seen in the journey, what I've seen in this type of journey that most people get despondent is when they face rejection, and also when they maybe say get a job that is not necessarily what they studied for. So for example, say someone studied a BCom marketing degree and then now they suddenly start working as a receptionist. Those are the things can, make people feel very despondent, but we should talk more about how you can overcome those challenges.
Okay. I do agree with you 100% on the part where a lot of students, and I know I'm not speaking for myself here, when you're studying, whether either you're finished or you're still within it, I don't know what the ratios are or the actual statistics is, but usually I think not all of us, if a large number of us don't actually get the job we want to initially when we start off during entry level. And
very true.
When you get there, perhaps the environment itself can be very fast and you're finding it hard to cope. Everything is just so new because this is the first time you're in an actual office environment, or I don't know, whatever environment we can you find yourself in. And it's very hard then to now maintain a positive outlook because you've probably worked hard to get there. And now that you're finally there, number one, you were working hard, but it wasn't what you were looking for ideally. And now you're there, it's not even the atmosphere you were hoping for. So it really can dampen your spirits. I've been in a situation like that before, and it took me a while. And I feel if I had a conversation with someone within the work environment already, who's been through it and can actually give me actual real life advice and scenarios of them dealing with trying to maintain a positive outlook. And before we even get further into it, I think it's ideal. It'll be good for people to know what a positive outlook is. What is it? What is to have a positive outlook? What is that? What is a positive outlook?
The only way I know how to answer this question, Itai, is by giving a real life scenario, because you just spoke about a real life scenario right now. And, in the real life scenarios I've seen, a positive outlook is shown when you are truly confident. The two go together. You have to have a type of confidence that, you don't wait for people to push you. You actually just take initiative with energy because you believe you can do it, which goes back to that can-do attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give an example based on the scenario of that receptionist working who's got a BCom marketing degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for this type of person, a positive outlook looks like, okay, I'm this receptionist and I've got a BCom marketing degree. I work for this company and we don't have the best social media platforms ever. How about I write a proposal to my managers and tell them that this is how I think we could change our social media platforms to increase the number of clients that we attract. And this is how I think it's going to impact the company. And this is how I plan to do it while I am in my role, or whichever way you decide that we can take this forward. In there is confidence, there is initiative, there's a can-do attitude, and there's a identification of an opportunity, rather than seeing this as, oh my gosh, I'm just a receptionist, is that it? My life is hard. You are actually creating the opportunity. And some people might see that and think, oh my goodness, but isn't that ego? Isn't that a self-importance type of attitude?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's self-esteem, and it's also being is problem solving. We talked about transferable skills last week. You are building up your problem solving skills by doing that. So another thing that you're doing there is, I spoke about believing. You need to see the value in yourself before other people can see it in you. Because if I say to you right now, oh, Itai, you're so valuable, do you believe me?
No, even in the way you said it, I, especially if I don't feel that way about myself, I don't think it's gonna help in me believing what you're saying if it doesn't come from me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly where I'm going with this. If you don't even believe that you're valuable, why would somebody else telling you make it any different? It has to start with you.
Like searching for validation from other people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this ego that you're talking about, it's I don't know. Even the word in itself, ego has got such a negative connotation to it, where someone with ego is very, I believe they're resented more in society in general. And I can imagine coming into an office and you've got this bravado about you, you've got this ego about you, you're just eager to just show. A lot of people don't take so kindly to that, and they might then react to you in a negative way, and that negativity towards your positivity could then turn your positivity into a negative. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know what your take is about how people react to an ego.
Yeah, I think the word ego itself, if you look it up, it actually talks about confidence rather than, being aggressive or being standoffish and really intolerable. That's not what it is, but we have that connotation to it. But at the end of the day, you can be positive without making other people feel bad. In fact, if you are positive, you make other people feel good. You become contagious. People want to be around you because they feel like, I love this energy. I feel better after being around Itai because he's made me see something that I thought was very negative in a positive light. I'm suddenly seeing opportunity in this. And that's what a positive outlook is. Very different from the ego as we know it, as it has been.
Yeah,
as we know it. It's very different. The two are very different. And I found the type of individual that you're describing is usually not a very confident person. It's usually a person that is putting on a facade of confidence. Meanwhile, they're not
Oh, there
really.
you go. I understand now. So
Yeah.
initially, you're probably not even confident in already. You're being
Do it.
fake about it. Yeah.
Exactly, because if you're
Okay.
truly confident, your
Mhm.
confidence won't make other people feel bad. It'll make people feel inspired.
Make people feel inspired. Okay, that's a new one. I need to actually jot that down. I need to write that down. Um, and then I think I even mentioned this when I was talking about the ego thing. How
Yeah,
do you maintain? How do you have a positive outlook, or how do you maintain it if you are
yeah,
constantly facing rejection? Like again, a lot of students will go apply, even if it's the job you don't want, but you go apply anywhere you go, and 3 times out of 5 you're gonna get rejected. You're gonna get rejected, and that's gonna really dampen your spirits to even go try into the next one, because perhaps maybe you've been aiming or you've been plotting on this job for the last 2 months, and you've
yeah.
been playing around with your CV, doing research, listening to all these seminars. And for me, if I was trying to apply to Alan Gray per se, um, and I've been all over their social media. I've been reading articles from everyone that's been an investment analyst for them, and I
Mm,
finally get there, and the first thing I hear is no. With all that time and effort you've put into it, how I don't see myself, and I'm putting myself in those shoes now. I don't see myself still trying to being positive for the next company going to Old
yeah,
Mutual, you see, or
yeah.
exactly. So how do you maintain a positive outlook, or how do you have a positive outlook when you're constantly facing rejection?
That's such a brilliant question, Itai, because I think it's so relatable. Like, as you're talking, I'm actually thinking about the series of rejections that I've had. And, and with that, I've learned that rejection is actually a part of everyday life. Your mindset is
A lot of that.
everything.
Mm.
Exactly, because you need to literally fine tune yourself with every event as it occurs and say, you know what? It's a no. It's not a final answer. Something has to turn into a yes, and maybe I should keep going to find my yes. How I
That
like to look
yes,
at
are
it.
you gonna push that yes in? Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. That yes,
No,
is
no,
it? Do I continue with the same? Let's say it is Alan Gray that's rejected me. Do I force a
uh,
yes out of them, or is it me being still being maintaining that positivity I had when I was approaching them and moving it on to Old Mutual, or something like that?
yeah.
Or is what do you mean there?
Great question. So, if you know why they rejected you, that means you know what you can refine so you
Mm,
can be a fit, so you can turn that no into a yes. So,
okay.
if you've identified that they rejected you because, say, you didn't have enough experience, then you can go get an experience and then come back. If they say we rejected you because you failed this test, then go and study more for that test. Go and do more research over and above what you've done so you
Mm,
can finally get a yes. So most people get it wrong because they give up. They think that that no is an attack to their whole entire
oh yeah,
being, you
yeah.
know,
You can
when
personalize that no.
they
Yes, yes,
personalize no, when in
yeah.
fact everything is in your hands. You could
Mm,
go and study more for the test, find more resources so you can get better at it, so you can go
mm.
and rewrite it if you're allowed to do it. In some instances maybe you don't get allowed to reapply, but where you can and where you can fix something, go fix it and go for it. You haven't
Mm-hmm.
failed yet. But if it's a situation where you also decide, okay, maybe I should part with Ellen Gray, let me rather try Old Mutual, whatever company you want to go for, then do that. You're still not giving up. But at
Okay.
the end of the day, what differentiates a negative outlook which results in failure is giving up versus not giving up. And not giving up does not mean you go back the same way. You
Okay.
try and figure out, what did I get wrong? Try and fix that, refine that, and
Mm.
set a standard of excellence, and then go for that opportunity again. And for sure, you're going to find probably even a better opportunity than what you hoped for.
And I can believe this because this is coming from someone who's most likely had her fair share of no's, I believe. Um,
I did.
how I'm sure, like you said, you did actually say you've had a couple of no's thrown your way. how did you maintain a positive outlook when you were a child? What's the biggest no you've ever faced, or maybe a most recent no, when you were getting into the job market? And how did you maintain a positive outlook? Did you maintain a positive outlook, or did you take
Yeah.
lessons from then that you now helped yourself, to carry that positivity?
I won't lie, Itai. Every time I got rejected, I didn't come back home and say, I'm not stopping. I'm gonna go. I
Yeah.
had moments of sulking. I had moments of having conversations with myself. But in those
Yeah.
moments, that's where I had to silence the negative voices and hear the positive voices speak louder and tell myself that I got this far by doing things right, and I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to continue because I need to find that opportunity. I know there is something out there for me. So for example, I had to talk to myself and tell myself, Tinswalo, don't reject yourself when other people reject you. And for me, that spelled out don't give up, you know.
Mm.
I told myself, don't reject yourself because others have rejected you. And I've gotten rejected even after telling myself that statement. You know, I've
that
heard.
that I can believe for sure. That I can believe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So I've literally had people, I've applied for certain jobs and I really thought I was awesome for the job, thought I was perfect, and I knew I was going to do great. But then they
Yeah.
came to me and said, well, despite your wonderful accolades, unfortunately, we need someone that has a driver's license and their own car. And I was like, give me 3 months, I can get it done. And they said, unfortunately, we don't have 3 months. We need someone that's ready to go. And you
That's
can
usually the case. That is usually the case. Like your timeline and theirs are never in sync. Yeah.
exactly. And then I also heard you are overqualified. And I'm like, what? The very same masters that I thought was going to get me ahead is getting me rejected?
And that's a lot of students again. That is a lot of students because a lot of us do. When you do your bachelor's, you don't really feel like you're good enough because the
Yeah.
competition is a lot. So you say, okay, let me move on to my honor. Let me do honors. After that, let me do masters. Then I can get into the job environment. And then by that time, they're telling you, hey, look. What you're qualified for demands this much of my like remuneration. We can only
Mhm.
give you this much,
Mhm.
so it's not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reality of what happens. And, that's why last week I was also speaking about transferable skills and how, in a company will hire you, they've got a specific budget. They want to know if the money that they're going to spend on you is going to be worth it. And sometimes you're way above the budget and you're not the right
Right.
fit. So you have
Right.
to think of yourself as a key looking for the right door to open. And just because that key is not opening the door doesn't mean it's useless. And that's one of the things that I always kept in mind. So I had to change my mindset about, not worrying about the things that I cannot change, but rather focusing on the things that are in my control and preparing. And as I started preparing, then I met the opportunity because I did not stop looking. I did not stop knocking.
It never stops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually hearing that, like I mentioned, if I wish I would have spoken to you probably yesterday because there is a situation that I was under that I actually put off because of I got demotivated for it. And while speaking to you, I'm actually thinking if I had still kept myself in that optimistic mood, there was an
Mm,
opportunity there. And I'm even thinking of it now. If I'm
sure.
hoping now that when I get off this call, I can go and work towards that. But if I wasn't thinking negative the whole time, I would have most likely thought of this and probably rectified it within the second and not have
Sure.
to have faced the consequences, the negative consequences I got from being negative initially. Yeah.
Sure.
Um, but in regards to that, I think that's all. Thank you very much. That was very enlightening, and I know for sure the people who are listening to this and the people who are going to listen to this,
Yeah.
especially the students, yeah, I I believe I've asked questions they have already,
Yeah.
and I think they can take keys from what you've said, and they can now go unlock their doors because probably they're holding 10 sets of keys that they're trying to put into 5 different doors, and it's just
Exactly.
not the key. It's just not the door. It's not the key. And
Yeah.
now it's having that positivity that look, this key, all 10 of them, they're gonna fit in a door eventually, and I just need
Exactly.
to keep trying away.
Well,
For me, thank you. That's all I have. That's all I have.
yeah.
Thank you very much, and I hope I have represented everyone in a justly just a fair manner.
Thank you so much, Itai. I really think the questions you asked were brilliant, and I've seen how, the questions you ask actually play a role with the applicants that we get at Express Employment Professionals.
Mm.
Um, and I just want to say to everybody watching, keep your questions open. Leave your comments as well to let us know, what do you think about this topic? What did Itai say that you related with? What did I say that you related with? And what have you learned from this? We'd really like to know. Next week we are going to be talking about community involvement and how that alone can also help you stand out in your job search. So we're looking forward to that, and stay tuned to our video sessions. See you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you, everyone.
everybody.
Bye.